Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a quick video, really a very sad video. We've all seen the breaking news. It's official. Lewis Hall is now out for the rest of the season. Devastating as a Newcastle United fan, but devastating more importantly for Lewis Hall. He's been one of our players of the season. He's been absolutely brilliant this season. Thomas Tuchel's England squad was going to be announced really soon, and I think it was a shoo-in almost that Lewis Hall wasn't just going to be in the squad, but probably starting that game as a starting left-back, because he's been brilliant. Been brilliant this season for Newcastle United and deserved to keep playing for England as he did. And I'm devastated for the young lad. He's got a problem with the ankle. He went to see a specialist. We all thought it didn't sound very good. A lot of the kind of jungle drums were beating. The murmurs were coming out that he might miss the whole season, certainly the Carabao Cup final, and now it's official. And where did Newcastle go from here with this devastating news? So that's the entire left-hand side missing now for the Carabao Cup final. Anthony Gordon's stupid red card, he's suspended. Now Lewis Hall's injury, he's not available either. What did Newcastle do? Well, I'll tell you what they do. They're praying to the football gods for the fitness of Sven Botman, and that is a big prayer to make, because Sven Botman's fitness has not been great of late. He is turned into the new Jonathan Woodgate, as I said in my previous video, but they've got to wrap Botman in cotton wool now and pray that he's fit for that final, and maybe start a back three of Cher, Byrne and Botman. But the only saving grace we'll have is Tino Livramento can slip over to left back. He looked really good at left back against Brighton in the Cup. Nearly said Birmingham there, too many B's. Brighton in the Cup, he looked really good. Trippier obviously did all right on the right-hand side. Trippier had a bit of a back injury when he come off, so we need Trippier to stay fit for the remainder of the season. It might be time for drafting some of the young players as well. We've got a few England under-17s and under-19s that have been trained with the first-team squad. They might get elevated to the bench in the first team. Emil Kraft's there, obviously, who can play right back as well if Tino Livramento has to go over the left back if Trippier is injured. But it's a huge hammer blow for Newcastle United. And again, it just highlights the gamble that the club took on this wafer-thin squad on form and fitness, coming back to bite us on the arse yet again. We have key injuries and suspensions to players, and we fall apart. You look at that squad. Harvey Barnes hasn't kicked his own arse for God knows how long now. He's now going to have to come in and try and show that he can fill that Anthony Gordon hole. And then who's going to come in at left back? What we're going to do, we're going to play Matty Targett against West Ham, woefully out of form. Hasn't really been in form for 2 years, really. Matty Targett, injured, missing, off form. I watched him when he come on against Brighton, and none of his crosses even cleared the first man. He looked like he was running in treacle like some of the rest of the players as well. I do wonder what Bunce is doing in the background for this massive, rejuvenated, super duper innovative fitness regime when all these players look like they're running in treacle and they can't run 5 yards or blowing their arse out. I really do wonder what on earth Bunce is doing to earn his paycheck. But going back to the first team, so Newcastle United have got to negotiate West Ham this coming Monday, without Anthony Gordon, without Lewis Hall. Worries about Sven Botman's injuries. Obviously Alexander Isak came off holding his thigh. Eddie says he's going to be all right, but I wouldn't risk him against West Ham. I'd play Callum Wilson. It is Callum Wilson's game. The last thing we want is Isak to be missing that cup final. And once again, Newcastle are going into a cup final, just like we did against Manchester United, missing a player through suspension, got injury concerns as well, fitness concerns. And it's the last thing that we needed, because we're going to get into the final and we're already starting to worry about how that's going to go. We're against the best team in the land, arguably the best team in Europe, in Liverpool, who beat us comfortably without breaking sweat in the league, even with Lewis Hall playing, where he had a great game against Mo Salah. He's going to be missing. So it really does throw up some concerns for the final. I'm sorry if that sounds negative, but it does. Yes, it's one game. Yes, we're able to win it if we show up, and if Liverpool have an off day, which is a huge if, really, and probably a huge if we show up, to be honest with you. But there's some real concerns in this squad right now. As I said, the banking, the gambling on players' fitness and form, aging players as well, whose legs are regressing, who look tired, who look, way off the levels that they used to be 2 or 3 years ago. People are still talking about these lads like it's 3 years ago. It's not 3 years ago. It's 3 years later. They're old, they're slow, they're ineffective, they're making mistakes. We've got nobody to come in. I haven't bought anybody. Yes, PSR and FFP have hugely hampered that, but so has the manager's over loyalty to players. You know, and that's a huge concern. And we're not bringing the young kids through either. Yes, Lewis Miley's come through, who's brilliant, you know, and looked really good in spells. But where's the rest of the youth? You know, he won't give Will Asula a game. He's playing Callum Wilson, who looks like he's running in fucking quicksand as well. And it's a real concern. Speaking of a good mate of mine, Steve, earlier on today, and he said yet again he can't wait for the season to finish. And that's so sad that fans are just waiting for the season to finish. You know, we've got loads to play for still. We've got a cup final to try and win, which is a huge mountain to climb. We've also got to try and solidify these Champions League places, but we've got to do it without major players because of stupidity and injury. And again, it just highlights how wafer thin this squad is. All this noise about we're going to go big in the summer, don't worry, we're going to buy all these players. We thought that the last 2 or 3 windows. The club simply has to buy and add players and get rid of some players in this window. So we can't be in this position again next season, but we still have to push to try and get those Champions League places if we want to keep a hold of the likes of Alexander Isak, Bruno Guimaraes, Anthony Gordon next season. You know, Darren Eales has come out and said that he doesn't want to get rid of them, you know, and obviously we won't sell them, you know, unless we get big money. But make no mistake about it, if we don't get Champions League football, which I think is looking really difficult now, missing these key players, then, you know, these players will go. There is no doubt about it whatsoever. They will leave this football club. And, you know, it's going to be very difficult to attract a similar quality replacement without Champions League football, no matter how reluctant Darren Eales says he is going to be for selling those players, no matter how reluctant Eddie Howe may be for selling those players. That is what's going to happen. It's going to be very difficult. But I'm devastated at this news, losing Lewis Hall. That is a tongue twister. Lewis Hall being out for the rest of the season. He's probably been one of the best players this season. Devastated for the young man. I just hope that he can come back fit and firing for next season, and hopefully he's got Champions League football to look forward to, as Newcastle United do, as a team, and maybe a Carabao Cup in the trophy cabinet. But by fuck, it's got much harder, hasn't it, losing a player like this? Let us know in the comments below what you guys think about the Lewis Hall injury news. Who would you play in that position? Would you go Matty Target? Would you go 3 at the back? What do you think about Sven Botman's likelihood of being fit and staying fit? And are you concerned now that the season's maybe going to, you know, filter out and just end with a bit of a malaise, a bit of a meh, rather than the bounce, the bonus, the quality that we thought was going to be a cup and a Champions League place? Always like to hear from you. Like and subscribe. Keep it evermore. Have a belter. We'll see you later. Cheers.